June 15th, we've got 10 games on the board in Major League Baseball. I'm going to give you my pick and prediction for each and every one of them. But first, make sure you like, you leave a comment, and you subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. If you could do that, it would be much appreciated. Let me know who you guys think is going to win in the comment section below. I always love to hear the discussions. Yesterday, we went 7-6 on our MLB picks. We profited just about half a unit. That makes it 2 profitable days in a row, as on Saturday, our picks went 7-4, making us 14-10 with a nice little profit across the last 2 days. And we're going to hope to continue that momentum here into Monday, June 15th. All right. Also, if you guys want to see my picks and predictions every single day, I post those on my story at Cole Mirza, spelled the same way as the title of this YouTube channel. All right, let's get right into it. We've got the Miami Marlins and the Philadelphia Phillies in Philadelphia at Citizens Bank Park. Ryan Gusto for the Marlins. He's 0-1 with a 6.00 ERA up against Zach Wheeler, who is 5-1 with a 2.22 ERA. Zach Wheeler has the starting pitching advantage here. The offenses are rather close. Miami on the road against righties boast a 695 OPS as a team. Philly at home against righties, a 705 OPS as a team. I give a slight lean to Philly with the offense advantage. And then Philadelphia definitely has the better bullpen. Overall, Philly has every advantage in this game. They're at home. We're going to lay the 1.5 runs with Philadelphia. Philadelphia -1.5. Philadelphia Phillies -1.5 at odds of +100 for 1 unit. Next up, we're going to head to Washington, D.C. We're going to watch the Kansas City Royals take on the Washington Nationals. It's Mitch Spence for the Royals up against Andrew Alvarez for the Nationals. Spence has been in AAA most of this year. He's been called up due to some injuries for the Royals, and Spence has been very bad in AAA. He's had an ERA above 6 in AAA, and Alvarez has been serviceable here at the MLB level. 1-0 for Alvarez, 3.70 ERA. Starting pitching advantage has to go to the Nats. When we look at the offenses, the Nationals have a significant offensive advantage, a 765 OPS at home against righties. Meanwhile, the Royals just a 665 OPS on the road against lefties. So the Nats have a huge offensive advantage here in this spot. And then it's a rare spot where the Nats actually have a better bullpen than the opposing team, with the Royals having one of the worst bullpens in Major League Baseball. So every advantage goes to the Nationals here. We're taking the Nationals on the money line at -138 for 1.2 units. Next up is the Mets and the Reds. This was a tough game for me, and I decided to pass on this game. I think it's very close. I think the Reds have the starting pitching advantage with Chase Burns on the mound, but the Reds offense gives me a little bit of cause for pause. There's no Elly De La Cruz. The Reds have lost 8 out of their last 10 games. And also the Reds have one of the worst bullpens in Major League Baseball. So I cannot lay -135 with the Reds here. I decided to pass on that game overall. I didn't want to bet on the Mets because they're going to be going with Tobias Myers as the opener and then David Peterson as the bulk reliever. I cannot trust that Mets starting pitching situation. So we're just going to pass. Next up, we've got the San Diego Padres visiting the St. Louis Cardinals. It is Lucas Giolito for the Padres up against Dustin May for the Cardinals. I give the Cardinals a starting pitching advantage here. Lucas Giolito has not been very good since he has come back to Major League Baseball. And meanwhile, Dustin May has been in very good form. Dustin May is the better option. When you look at the offenses, you've got the Padres offense operating at a 670 OPS as a team on the road against righties. The Cardinals, 720 team OPS at home against righties. So the Cardinals have the starting pitching advantage, and the Cardinals have the offense advantage as well. Bullpen advantage goes to the Padres, but there are some taxed guys in that Padres bullpen. Bradley Rodriguez and Jason Adam both have gone back-to-back days coming into this day, Monday. So I don't think that either one of them will be available. Give me the Cardinals on the money line at odds of -145 for 1.2 units. Rockies and Cubs, this one being played in Chicago at Wrigley Field. It's going to be Mike Lorenzen for the Rockies up against Shota Imanaga for the Cubs. The Cubs have the starting pitching advantage here. Imanaga 4-6 with a 4.44 ERA. Those numbers do not set the world on fire, but they're better than Mike Lorenzen's numbers. 2-8 for Lorenzen, 7.54 ERA. The Cubs also have the better offense, a 725 OPS at home against righties. Meanwhile, the Rockies, a 695 OPS on the road against lefties. So the Cubs, the better starting pitcher and the better offense, and the Cubs also have the better bullpen. I like the Cubs here laying the 1.5 runs. Cubs -1.5 at odds of +100 for 1 unit. Next up, we've got the Twins and the Rangers. It is Mackenzie Gore up against Mike Paredes, and this is another game that I decided to pass on. Very hard to call, very hard to predict. I do give the Rangers the starting pitching advantage with Gore over Paredes, but I have to give Minnesota a slight offensive advantage. So I think that those definitely equal each other out. The bullpen advantage has to go to Texas, but then the travel advantage has to go to Minnesota, because Texas played that late Sunday night game last night and had to travel back home from Boston. So overall, this is a really hard game for me. I'd rather not get involved. I'm just going to pass, and we'll move on to the next game. You got the Detroit Tigers against the Houston Astros in Houston. Troy Melton for the Tigers up against Kai Wei Tang for the Astros. Melton 3-0 with a 2.81 ERA. Tang 3-5 with a 3.71 ERA. I do give the starting pitching advantage to Troy Melton. He has been very good so far this year. Tang has had 2 bad starts in a row. So Melton is in the better form, and he's pitched better throughout the season. When we look at the offenses, they're pretty close. Detroit is very hot. They have an 860 OPS in the month of June, which is the last 15 days. That's extremely impressive. Detroit has a 700 OPS on the road against righties for the entire season. Astros, a 715 OPS at home against righties for the entirety of this season. The bullpen advantage goes to Houston, but the Tigers did not play yesterday. They got to rest yesterday. Their bullpen comes in fully rested. They also have the travel advantage because Houston had to travel in late last night after they played their game. I really like the Tigers on the money line at odds of +110 for 0.9 units. I just think they've got the better starting pitcher. The offenses are close, but the Tigers are hotter offensively, and they're going to have a rest advantage and a travel advantage here. Yeah, give me Detroit on the money line, +110, 0.9 units. Next up, we've got the Los Angeles Angels and the Arizona Diamondbacks in Phoenix. You got Walter Urania for the Angels up against Ryan Nelson for the D-backs. Urania's been very good so far this year for the Angels. 4-4 record, a 2.44 ERA. Nelson, not so good. 2-5 with a 5.19 ERA. I have to give the Angels the starting pitching advantage. We don't say that very often. When you look at the offenses, the Angels actually have a 730 OPS as a team on the road against righties. This is the spot you like to back the Angels, on the road when they're facing a right-handed pitcher. Meanwhile, the D-backs at home against righties, just a 690 OPS as a team. I think the Angels have the better offense in this spot, and we're going to take the Angels on the first 5 innings money line at odds of +100. We isolate the Angels' starting pitching advantage and their offensive advantage in those first 5 innings. Do not bring the bullpens into play. Angels first 5 innings money line +100, 1 unit. Next up, we head to Sutter Health Park in Sacramento, where the Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Sacramento Athletics. It is Jared Jones for the Pirates up against JT Ginn for the A's. These 2 starting pitchers are very close, but I do have to give JT Ginn the edge. Jared Jones still working his way back from that long injury recovery that took him almost 2 years. Jones making his 4th start since coming back from injury in this game. He's 1-0 with a 4.73 ERA so far. He's had 2 really bad starts, and he's had 1 really good start. So I want to see what he can do here in this one. As for Ginn, he's been really solid all year. 4-3 record, 3.15 ERA. I do think Ginn is the better option. I think the A's have a much better offense in this spot at home. The A's against righties, 760 team OPS. The Pirates on the road against righties, just a 715 OPS. When you look at the bullpens, I do give the advantage to the Pirates, but overall, this is an A's spot. They are at home. They've got the better offense. They've got the better starting pitcher. Give me the Athletics on the money line at odds of -117 for 1.2 units. And then last but not least, we've got the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the LA Dodgers at Chavez Ravine in LA. It is Nick Martinez for the Tampa Bay Rays. It is Eric Lauer for the LA Dodgers. Nick Martinez 6-2 with a 2.43 ERA this year. Lauer 2-5 with a 5.47 ERA. Starting pitching advantage has to go. Okay, my dad is looming in the background. As you can see him right there. You just saw his head disappear. Okay, and now he's walking over there. Okay. Anyways, starting pitching advantage has to go to the Tampa Bay Rays. Nick Martinez has been significantly better than Eric Lauer, but the Dodgers offense is much better than Tampa Bay's offense. Dodgers offense, 790 OPS as a team at home against righties. Rays offense on the road against lefties, a 690 team OPS. Bullpen advantage goes to the Dodgers as well, but with the better starting pitcher on the mound, I'm going to back the Rays here. I'm going to take the Rays first 5 innings plus a half a run at odds of -105 for 1.1 units. Reasoning here, if the Rays can get through the first 5 innings in a tie ball game, my bet cashes. I like having the better starting pitcher in the first 5 innings. I think the Dodgers' offensive advantage will materialize more throughout the course of 9 innings than it will throughout the course of the first 5 innings when they're going up against a very good starting pitcher. So Rays first 5 plus a half a run, -105 for 1.1 units. Those are my bets for Monday, June 15th. I'm going to recap it really quickly. First, just please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're putting a lot of good content out every day. We're trying to help you guys win some money. Philadelphia Phillies, -1.5 runs, plus 100 odds for 1 unit. Philly laying the run line, -1.5, plus 100, 1 unit. We're going to take the Nationals on the money line, -138 for 1.2 units. We're going to take the Cardinals on the money line, -145 for 1.2 units. We're going to take the Cubs laying the 1.5 runs, Cubs -1.5 at odds of plus 100 for a unit. We're going to take the Tigers on the money line, odds of plus 110, 0.9 units. We're going to take the Angels on the first 5 money line, odds of plus 100 for a unit. We're going to take the Athletics on the money line, odds of -117 for 1.2 units. And we're going to take the Tampa Bay Rays, first 5 innings plus a half a run, odds of -105, 1.1 units. We've been profitable 2 days in a row. We are 14-10 in our last 24 MLB picks across the last 2 days. Looking to continue the momentum and the profit streak here into Monday, June 15th. Thanks for watching. Again, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.